Hello, welcome to What is the Backstory? Today we're talking about Kamala Harris, the VP-elect.
What's the backstory with Carlos Hardy? Yeah.
If you're like me, you're waiting on our new VP to be sworn in on January 20th, 2021. Kamala Harris is a Howard graduate in law school. She's also has been an attorney, a DA, an AG, Attorney General of California. She's done a lot of great, amazing things in her career. And it's just exciting to have the first woman vice president. I'm excited to see what happens and what kind of policy her and Biden collaborate on and helping the American people. I was really careful about writing this backstory of Kamala Harris and Vice President Pence because, Secret Service is a little, intimidating if you write something salacious or something life-threatening about any kind of political figure, especially the vice president and the vice president-elect. So I was I was on pins and needles about writing something, but what I wrote, I think you'll like it. It's fun. It's compelling, but at the same time, I'm hoping when you're watching that you will enjoy the story, because, like I say, most of my stories are fabricated, but there's always some truth to my backstory. I just wanted to mention that I think it's very, very sad in this day and age in 2020, where our Vice President Pence have not reached out to Kamala. I think that's just a big mistake, and especially to democracy everywhere. If you lose, you lose. Shake the winner's hand, and that's just how sports is played. That's just how life is played. That's just how politics should be played. But this administration that is leaving is a little bit, I should say, special. In today's backstory, I have Kamala Harris meeting up with Vice President Pence. They begin to talk, and he shares some very, very daunting information with her. Pence talks to her, and he begins to shed some light on certain subjects that she already knows, but he's trying to figure it out. Okay, so it's going to be really cool. Let's go into our writer's room where Kamala Harris is at the brink of becoming vice president. Or is she? Here we go. Take a look. It's a chilly morning in Washington on Inauguration Day. A pair of bright neon stilettos stroll down the center of a walkway. It's Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. She's abruptly stopped by a Secret Service agent with a disgruntled mug and crew cut. He swiftly opens the SUV's door without acknowledging her presence. She finds it odd, but climbs inside anyway. The car skids from the curve, pushing her from her comfy positioning. She immediately tends to her phone, never thinking twice about her journey. She steals a few glances of herself from a compact mirror. The reflection of her flawless pecan skin reminds her of her deceased mother. Kamala conceals her pain with a soft smile. For her, it's bittersweet, knowing that she will be sworn in hours from now without her mother in attendance. The prosecutor in her emerges, shaking free the angst and plowing ahead. She pushes the hair from her face, shoulders sitting proudly erect. She is ready for the next chapter to begin. The thick tint of the car's window makes it hard to see. Driver, are we going the right way? The window dividing the front from the rear slides closed. Hello, driver? After a short while, the car comes to a crawl before stopping. The door opens. The agent from earlier signals to her with a nod to exit the vehicle. Kamala does exactly what she's told while internally battling thoughts of rebellion. She turns on her heels, inhaling an unfamiliar smell. Out front is an abandoned, medium-sized building in the middle of nowhere. Her eyes widen with a bit of surprise, follows the heavy razor-edged fencing encasing the building. She swings to her left, then to her right, dripping with intrigue and a hint of confusion all wrapped in one. Excuse me, where are we? The agent turns up his nose at her uncomplicated question. He holds still for as long as the moment allows. I will be inaugurated in an hour. What is going on? The agent marches to the front of the door. Annoyed, Kamala stalks after him. "I demand answers now," she says, applying pressure as if she was cross-examining a foe in court. The agent doesn't concede. He holds open the door, wide enough for her to slide through. What is this place? The smell of rotting flesh frolic at their nostrils. The bulky agent inhales before painfully gagging. For Kamala, the unpleasant aroma is all too familiar to her. As a district attorney, visiting morgues regularly was his thing. She turns back to notice the SUV sitting on the dirt road, but she continues on her very curious journey. The agent leads her down a deserted hall, posting up next to the open door. He waits. Kamala cautiously walks inside, her eyes surveying the room with regret. "What? You?" She talks with an ounce of nuance in her words. Vice President Pence stands silently staring out the small window in the corner. He swings around with an artificial smirk on his face. The single bulb above his head spotlights the daunting shadows dancing proudly on his face, giving him a more ominous glow. "Mr. Vice President, what are you doing here?" He sighs, mocking her question. "You're the prosecutor. You would know." "I know this is unethical, Mr. Vice President." "Kamala, we are 4 years past ethics." He pauses before landing on the perfect insult. "Sweetie." "Pence, I am getting sworn in an hour. Are you crazy?" Kamala gladly turns to exit. The door unexpectedly slams closed. She spins around, her hair whips, slapping Pence in the face. "You better have an explanation on this, Pence." "I do." Vice President Pence's tone morphs into a crazed murmur. "Are you familiar with the Constitution, Kamala?" "Who am I kidding? Sure you are." "What are you getting at, Pence?" He's no longer talking to her. He repositions himself as if he's giving a speech. "I know the Constitution. My people wrote it." "Your people?" Kamala's arms fold defiantly against her chest. She has decided to entertain Pence's incoherent ramblings. "You see, Kamala, the Constitution states that in order for a smooth transition of power," he creeps over, invading her personal space, "there has to be a president-elect and vice president-elect. Those are the rules." "Since when have you contemplated rules?" Pence retrieves a miniature booklet with Constitution written on its cover. He willfully throws it at her. "It's fucking written right here." He roars before resting on a psychotic grin. "You are sick, Mr. Vice President." The maddening sneer on his face propels her to take a few steps back. He comes closer, pressing his body against hers, backing her into a wall. "What are you doing?" "I'm doing what God wants me to do," he whispers gleefully. Pence snatches the phone from her hand and vacates the room. The sound of a deadbolt securing to the door frightens her. She runs to the small window. The cars quickly zoom away. The vice president-elect's shoulders slump. Defeat creeps its way into her heart. The burden of becoming first woman vice president has come full circle. She ponders while snatching the golden barrette from her hair. Her fingertips trace over the chewed hair clip. She presses down and talks into it. "Hello? Can anyone hear me? It's Kamala. Hello?" Turning back to the window, she notices that both SUVs are slowly returning. As you saw in the writer's room, I tiptoed on the line of deceit and despair, but at the same time, I tried my very best to make it compelling. You writers out there, you know how difficult it is to create stories out of nothing, but also to embellish and fabricate stories, which I think is very, very important, because everything you see on television or in movies is someone's idea, someone's creative a mind putting that to paper. And I'm hoping that you saw something that you liked. I hope you'll continue to come back and appreciate what I'm doing. As always, there's a tip of the day. Today's tip: paint a clear picture. I mean, whenever you're writing any type of books or scripts, autobiographies, fiction, nonfiction, anytime you're writing, paint a picture for your audience. And what I mean is be as descriptive as you can, because your audience want to get inside your head. They want to know what color that dress she's wearing. They want to know the eye color. They want to know the environment. They want to know how she feels, how she sits, how she does her hair. They want to know all that stuff. And it's very, very important for you as a writer to make it as descriptive as possible. Get inside that scene, or get inside that plot, so that your audience can walk the journey with the character. Because there's nothing better than when your audience feels for characters based on what you as a writer have described. To me, that's a big component of a reader being able to read your material, is if they feel like they're on a journey with the characters. If they don't, they're going to slam the book. They're going to close the script. They're going to, close the magazine. Whatever it is, they're going to go away. So again, please make your scenes as descriptive and as compelling as possible. That's the tip of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching the backstory. Again, I have a new backstory every single week. I'm at home, always writing something here or there. I appreciate you so very much. Subscribe if you want. If you don't, continue watching anyway. I appreciate it. Until next time, this is What is the Backstory, and I am Carlos. Peace.
What's the backstory with Carlos Hardy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't forget to subscribe.